It's late autumn now, the winter's not too far away, and for me, my favourite way of fishing through these colder months coming is definitely using maggots. I absolutely love this sort of fishing, and if you haven't done it, then I'm going to show you my 5 edges or top tips on how to get the best out of the maggots and how to use them to catch some fish. One of my best tips I can give you for maggot fishing is looking after your bait. It's something that I've got from a match fishing background, and the better you keep these things, it's definitely better when they're in the water as well. First things first, keep them sealed in a bucket. I've got a nice airtight bucket here, and when you put them in a bucket, the maggots actually go torpid. They look a little bit stretched, but when you take them back out, they will come back to life, so to speak, and swell up a little bit more. So yeah, just keep them in a nice airtight bucket. But obviously, as carp anglers, we use a lot more than the match anglers, and this can often lead to, when you get your maggots, when you order them from the tackle shop or whatever, they might not go to the extent of cleaning them all for you because you buy them in bulk. So I bought myself a riddle, and then all you need to do is, when you get the maggots, put a few on a riddle, literally riddle the dust off of them. What they do is they put sawdust with them, and this is to absorb the ammonia, and the ammonia is what makes the maggots smell. So just shake the old sawdust off, and you can see there's nothing on those maggots now. And all I do then is get some krill meal. This is a really fishy, potent powder, and I just think it complements the maggots absolutely wonders. You don't need a lot of it as well. And the actual match lads have been using this for a few years now, and they catch absolutely tons of carp, like in the margins and with their match fishing. So I thought I'm definitely getting on a bit of that, and it's definitely giving me an edge to my maggot fishing. And also, if a lot of people are doing it on the lake that you're fishing, this is going to make your bait stand out from everybody else's as well. And they are pretty much ready to go. So yeah, happy days. Look after your bait, and your bait will look after you. Once you're in your swim and you're looking for somewhere to fish, it's important when using these maggots to find the best spot that you can. I mean, I just use a straight lead. I do away with the float. I feel this way that you're going to get a much truer reading on the old marker rod. So just use a heavy lead on its own, and just take your time. Just look for the cleanest place that you can present the bait, in a decent area within your peg as well. I don't care if it takes me 200 casts. What I'll do is I'll plumb around until I find what I feel is the nicest place to present the bait, and then I'll check around it. And I know that if it's in line with a certain tree, I'll check to the left and check to the right and see how far, see how big the spot is, because I intend to fish all my rods in one area when I'm maggot fishing. I don't like to spread my rods around. I fish all my eggs in one basket. I bait, a decent amount of bait, and I fish very accurately with all 3 rods. I use my marker sticks. I double check everything. I use marker sticks to wrap everything up. I use marker elastics on my fishing rods. And also, because of the waters that I fish, a lot of them are over 10 foot deep. And I feel like once you go over 8 or 10 feet of water depth, this is when it becomes important on where to clip your spod up opposed to your fishing rods. So you clip your fishing rods up exactly the same as your marker lead. So wherever you find your spot, that's where you clip your fishing rods up to. And if the water's over 10 foot deep, I clip my spod up 1 foot shorter for every 3 foot of water. And I find that is absolutely perfect to keep the maggots going bang over the top of my rigs. So just take your time, find yourself a lovely spot, and keep everything nice and tight, and you'll get the best result from this bait. Hook bait choice for fishing over the maggots, I think, very important really. I've spent a long time using the wrong hook baits, and over the years it's become apparent that a couple stand out miles better than the rest. The first one is the old plastic Fantastic. A single grain of plastic sweet corn, 9 times out of 10 fished in a solid bag, is absolutely ideal for fishing over these. It counterbalances the weight of the hook, so when the fish are feeding on the maggots, they can inhale the hook bait at the same rate as the maggots would lift off the bottom once they're feeding on them. And that goes the same for some little pop-ups. I use these in 10 or 12 mil. Again, they're both small, just to match the size of the free offerings. We're not feeding any big items, so this complements that very well. And also, with a lot of the lakes nowadays, there are silverfish present, and fishing, I feel, fishing a maggot hook bait can sometimes be a bit of a waste of time, be a bit of a mare with a roach plucking them off and stuff like that. So at least if you've got an item like these on your hair, you know that it's always going to be fishing and it's not going to get ripped off by smaller fish. My solid bag rig, probably my favourite presentation for fishing over the top of the maggots, and it couldn't be any simpler really. It's just a ready tied leader to a normal swivel, decent sized weight for whatever distance you want to fish, and then I just got 25-pound dark camo reflex, little blob of putty there, and that's a size 6 SSBP with a little bit of silicone over the eye of the hook there, a little rig ring, and a single grain of plastic corn there. And this all goes in a repeat bag. I can chuck this out onto the spot and I know that it's going to be fishing every single time I chuck it out. I'll tie up the bag and show you exactly how I do it. Right, first step, just get your PVA bag onto the loading tool. This makes it nice and easy to drop the rig and everything in. Secondly, just drop the rig so the hook bait's in the bottom of the bag, and then hook the leg core over the little groove there, and then you can just drop a few pellets in the bag. I sort of probably quarter fill the bag. This just masks the hook, and then I can drop the lead into the center of the bag. A few more pellets. And by getting the lead bang center of the bag, this means it's going to fly nice and straight when you cast it out. So just a few pellets in there, and then just simply twist the bag so you can see it go around the top of the lead. Give the bag a little lick, slide it down. Once it comes off the loader, give it a squeeze. That's on there, and then just tuck the corners in. If you're not fishing very far out, then you don't need to tuck the corners in. If you're fishing a little bit further out, this just makes it a little bit more aerodynamic when it's going out through the air. And that's it. Dead simple. You're going to cast that into the lake. Once that PVA bag's melted, the corn's going to sit up out the pellets, and hopefully when the carp comes along, this is going to catch its attention and get you a bite really quickly. Regarding the quantity of maggots that I'm using, I hear these horror stories of people saying, oh, so-and-so turned up with gallon upon gallon of maggots, and it's absolute nonsense. One, half the time it's not true, and two, you definitely don't need it. I never really take more than a gallon per night. You just don't need it. Half a gallon to start with, that'll kick off any spot. That's enough to get the fish interested and down feeding, and then once you've caught a fish, anywhere from 5 to 10 spods of bait over the top to encourage the next bite is absolutely ample. When I am putting the maggots out, what I do is, once I've got them in my bucket, just the ones that I'm going to spot out at that particular time, is just get a little bit of water and just dampen them down. What this does is, because maggots are quite light, this just gives you some casting weight for the spod, and also to help them just break that top barrier of the water as well and just get them to sink a little bit faster.
If you'd like to watch more videos from Fox Fishing TV, then click the link here, or if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, then click the link here.